What's up, everybody? Welcome to Jay's Retro Footwear. I'm Jay. Um, just coming back at you with another video on how to maintain and upkeep your shoes that you have in your collection and whatnot like that. Things that I found that work for me, especially when you're working on a small budget. Alright, so first things first, let's talk about suede. There's different types of suede. The two suedes that I'm going to be talking about in particular is going to be your regular hairy type fuzzy suede and your nubuck suede. There's different, there's different classifications of suede between premium grade and that of lower quality. But nevertheless, suede is suede. And nubuck is a type of suede. It's not as hairy. It's more of a smooth suede. That being said, let's get right into it. Yeah. Okay, first things first. It's important to have what they call is a suede eraser. So it's basically what it feels like, an eraser, an abrasive. But it's a lot different. It's not like your regular eraser that you would use in school to erase a mistake on a piece of paper. This particular suede eraser, when used on suede or nubuck, will actually start to crumble on purpose. And as you use it, you'll see it start to fall apart from here. So anyway, so when using the suede eraser for your suede material, which, by the way, before I get into that, let me give you a little bit of background story on this. This was and is my first Jordan 1 I ever purchased. This is what started it for me. Officially started it for me, I should say, because I've been buying shoes at a younger age. My mom would buy me shoes and stuff like that, and I would take care of them and beat the brakes off of them until they fell apart. But this is the first shoe I could say that I officially bought for myself. That I've actually taken care of and maintained. So that started that journey for me. So yes. And then the time that I've had it, I've only worn it 3 times at the very least, and look how immaculate it looks. So getting back to maintaining and cleaning this type of material, so you need a suede eraser, suede brush. There's different types of brushes. There's you can use the copper brush. You can use a hard bristle brush that I have here. Now I went the cheap route, and I just got a regular old, it's steel wire, brush, but preferably you want to use a copper one. But if you know how, you can use that one. A little bit more cheaper. Now, that being said, when using this, you want to lightly, very lightly, but firm, go in a straight pattern, like so, when cleaning. A front to back motion on the suede. Very lightly, very softly, but firm in one stroke. And I get into a little bit of thing because I have ruined suede material before with the eraser. If you're not paying attention, you will yank this up, or yank the suede off. So when using this, you're only removing a fraction of the material of the actual suede. So you try, even though this is the best way to, first off, let me recommend using a brush. Okay, a suede brush. You brush the material off, And generally, or most of the time, that would clean the shoe, maintain it, etc., etc. But for something deep like a stain or something like that, you start with the suede eraser. Okay, if for whatever reason that don't work, it does not work. Then you start moving into your wet solvents, or in this case, a suede and nubuck foam cleaner. Now this works, but I would say it only works for that on the surface. So you'd spray it, like for instance, if you can see this panel here, this panel, this section, you would spray it completely, okay, and work this whole section. Because if you only spray a little bit, you'll see the difference in the color change and stuff like that. It'll get what they call as a water stain, and it won't look right. So you'd have to use the foam on the entire panel. Okay, just this section of the panel. Let it dry. But prior to letting it dry, when wet, you want to press and twist. Press and twist. Press and twist. To absorb any excess moisture. Now the procedure on this and on the nubuck, I'm going to show you what nubuck looks like. As you can see, one is smoother, the other one's more fluffier, hairier. Okay, and that's the difference. This is a nubuck, and this is a regular old-fashioned type suede material. They're both cleaned the same way because it's still suede nubuck. They're both cleaned the same way. Nubuck and suede are just different versions of suede. So now, when you use the foam and it doesn't work, and you need something much more stronger, you need a concentrated liquid. There's different versions out there. This is the Crep brand. There's Rejuvenator and other brands as well. I'm not sponsored by any of these companies by no means. It's just what works for me, and I just want to share it with you guys. I do specifically have a brand new brush meant just for my suedes and nubuck for cleaning them. I don't mix none of my brushes. I try to keep them separate from the ones that I use for smooth leathers or tumbled leather, or any type of premium leather from the suede, because suede has the tendency to bleed when you wet it, especially with these kinds of solvents. Now, when you spray the foam on, you want to go in a circular motion pattern as such. Alright. Also, when you dap, twist to absorb the moisture and let dry, it's extremely important that you remember, as it goes drying, you want to take your brush, okay, either this one or a very stiff bristle brush, and you want to just lightly go over the surface of it. Okay, and as you do that, it's to help break up the matting, because when you wet nubuck or suede, it will mat. The fibers will start to clump almost and form a hard shell, and it's just the hairs and the fibers just getting matted together and just staying in that one solid position. So what you do is you take this and you just break it up, nice and easy, just nice and slow, nice and easy. When you're done, when it's all done and dry, you want to take your suede brush and you just want to go over it, just to make sure everything feels buttery smooth, the way it's supposed to feel. And it's the same process on nubuck. Don't oversaturate it. If now that's just using the foam. Now, if you have to use the concentrated liquid, okay, you want to very, very minimal moisture in your brush. You dip your brush, your soft bristle brush, in the water, lather it up, shake it off very, very well, and then you use it just like the foam. Now, the difference is that it will take a lot longer for it to dry, and you have to be vigilant on how much moisture or water you let penetrate the material. So preferably just a little bit of dab, shake it off really, really good, and then just go over it. Okay? Now, when it dries, you reset the nap and all this other stuff. You want to get something, I don't have it here with me, I ran out. It's called mink oil. Comes in a spray, and you wanna spray it about a few inches away. Spray it, especially in a well ventilated area. And what it does, the mink oil will revitalize the color, the leather itself. It'll put the oils back into this type of leather, and it'll protect it from any water or spillage or whatever the case is. It'll act like a natural barrier from stains and stuff like that. So that's that. Moving on, that's how I take care of my suede. Now, I do use a separate brush for the sole and a separate rag to clean it up. Now, another thing that's essential when cleaning or maintaining your shoes, like if you have a collection of shoes, I try to keep my collection to minimal. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I got about 30 shoes, and some more down underneath here where I'm sitting. So all in all, I got like 40 pairs of shoes. So when maintaining smooth leather or tumbled leather, some shoes will yellow, some will not. But to prevent any cracking and any damage to the leather, I always, once every between 2.5 to 3 months, I take, where's my rag? I'll take a rag, I'll take a cleaner, okay? It cleans and conditions the leather, okay? I'll spray a little bit on, not a lot, like so. And what you do is you just go ahead over the leather, circular pattern, and just rub it in. And it'll condition the leather. It'll keep it nice, buttery, clean as well. Okay? Just like that. Nice and easy. And you always want to use a clean rag. Make sure you're using a clean rag. I have several different rags. I have one that I use for the suede, one to do what I just did here on the leather, another one for if it gets dirty or whatever, a different one for the sole of the shoe. So yeah, and that'll maintain it. Okay. Also, most important, people forget this step, or people generally don't know about this, but for those that are just starting out and stuff like that, you want to invest in shoe trees, like so. Very inexpensive. You can go to Walmart, pick up a pair for, I want to say, $8 to $9 maybe. And essentially what it does is it'll sit inside the shoe like that when not in use. It'll help the shoe maintain its shape, okay, over time. If there's creasing on the toe box right here, it will help reduce that. So as it sits, it'll stretch it back out again, and it'll go back to its original shape. Now, another tool that I use, that I picked up at my local shoe store, is these toe box shields. Okay, this particular one is from a company called Force Shield. So Force Shield makes this toe guard, and all it does is it sits in the toe and the toe cap area right here. When you put your foot in, as you walk, it will flex, but as you can see here, it'll prevent this section right here from creasing on the top of the toe box. Now, I do use them in almost all my shoes. I think they go for like $9 to $10 or something like that. Okay. That clicked in. Okay. What's going on? There we go. And it clipped in. And that's what I use to maintain the shape and the, you know, so that it doesn't crease. Okay, the majority of all my shoes have some type of shoe tree. Now, when you buy a shoe, they should come, well, should I say, maybe, they should come with this disposable shoe tree. Well, I say disposable, but I always keep them. Because, you know, if you're on a budget, you're on a budget. You can't afford that, or whatever the case is, and these are very good. And the old school alternative is to have the paper that comes stuffed in the toe. You know, don't throw it out. Save it. Don't throw out your box too. You know, sneakerheads and stuff like that. They like to maintain the boxes, and you know, to them, you know, it's all about authenticity and all this other stuff or whatever. Sort of like with any collecting. Yeah. So that's what I do to maintain my shoes. All my shoes. Most importantly, I told you about the mink oil, but you can also buy this. So I have two different two different companies here. One is Mint, and the other one is, what is this? They got stickers on here. I think this one's Force Field. Yeah, it says Force Field. So I guess the company's called Force Field. It's not a bad brand. I've used it before. I've used Mint also before. So what this is a waterproofing stain and water protector. So about 6 inches away from the shoe, you spray it down in a well ventilated area, because this is a chemical. You spray it, you get all around it, you get, let me show you the shoe here. So you get everything, okay? You can even spray the inside here, and on here, at a distance, okay? And you want to do at least 2 coats on each shoe. And what that does is that it'll maintain it. It'll protect it. It'll keep it from stains. For instance, if somebody drops something on it, it'll prevent that. Now, that being said, there are exceptions to the rule. If for whatever reason you drop oil, or not so much oil, what do you call it? Grease, like animal fat grease, onto the shoe, because the leather is meant to absorb animal fats. That's why they use mink oil. It's a type of animal fat. That being said, the problem here would be that obviously it would stain your shoe, and it would cause a nasty stain, and it would be very difficult to remove. I had somebody who asked for help on a pair of Jordan 6 UNCs. They dropped a plate of food, and a piece of meat landed on the toe box, and it stained it. And so I started cleaning it, and I couldn't figure out why the stain wouldn't come out. And then I switched over to the deep clean with the solution, and I noticed it started coming out. But prior to that, I had asked the person what was actually dropped on the on the top of the shoe, on the actual toe box, and she said it was a piece of meat. And I said, so the Nubuck and Suede foam cleaner, and it's good, very, very good. But when it comes to stuff like that, animal fat or animal grease getting onto your shoes or whatever the case is, or any type of oil itself, because the leather absorbs it, you're gonna have to go with the concentrated liquid. And so essentially you just put like that much, about half an inch of water, squirt, 2 squirts, and then just dip your brush and shake off the excess moisture when it comes to the Nubuck, obviously, and then you just start scrubbing away. And like I said, it's very important that you use like a type of invisible measurement when doing Nubuck and Suede. So for instance, black wouldn't be too hard to deal with. Another thing is that you can't press too hard on this when you're cleaning. Okay, when cleaning this, you have to be very fragile, very gentle with this, because you can tear up the material, and then your shoes will be shot. But I managed to pull out the stains, and I managed to clean it to pristine condition. The Nubuck, it looked fantastic. She had worn them once, and I made them look brand new again. And she's like, and she was so excited. She said it doesn't even look like I even put them on in the first place. And she was kind of scared and all this other stuff. She didn't want to put them on, blah, blah, blah. Long story short is that I gave her some advice on getting one of these erasers for the Suede and the Nubuck. I went and I picked it up at Walmart. It was on the shelf for like, I think, a total of $6 after taxes. Walmart won't have all these things. You'd probably would go to like a Jimmy Jazz or a Snipes or a Foot Locker or a Foot Action if it's still around. Places like that, and they'll have the rest of these items. Now you might be able to find mink oil at the Walmart on the shelf if they have it in stock. But a lot of sneakerheads, they're real smart about this, so they don't have to pay that much money. They'll go to your local Walmart, buy the shoe trees there, and buy the Suede erasers and all this other stuff. It's very inexpensive. So it's very inexpensive, but if you don't have it and you do spill something, it will become expensive, Because, I mean, I don't charge. This particular person was a loyal customer of mine who buys plenty of shoes from me. And, I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. So that's what I do with some of my customers and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. Friends and family and stuff, I take care of their shoes when they need it and whatnot. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed the small video. I hope it was informative enough. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button. Also, don't forget to leave a comment if you want to leave a comment, and my Instagram will be in the description box down below. So don't forget to go check that link out and follow me on Instagram. Thanks. Have a good one. We out.